Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. So we are continuing our journey on studying about models and methods and artifacts, which is the fourth major section in PMBOK 7. Right? What is an artifact? Artifact is a template or an output or a deliverable or document, etc. We call that as an artifact. Look at this red rectangle. Artifacts or deliverables are output of the performance domains, right? So models and methods are used to apply in performance domains to contextualize and tailor it. So accordingly, your deliverables and artifacts, you can design our outputs, right? So this also, as per the project context, you can tailor it actually. Your outputs can be tailored, right? Right. So what are the PMBOK 7 talks about certain commonly used artifacts, which are different outputs at the different stages of the project. There are 9 category of artifacts. PMBOK 7 talks about it. They are strategy artifacts, logs, registers, plans, hierarchy charts, right? Baselines, visual data and information, reports, agreements and contracts, and other artifacts, right? So in today's video, we'll cover strategy artifacts. Okay, I'll try to cover other artifacts in upcoming videos. Okay, so today we're going to focus on strategy artifacts. What are the strategy artifacts? How and when they are getting created? Strategy artifacts are artifacts those are created prior or at the start of the project. So most of the strategic artifacts are created at the beginning of the project. What does it address? It addresses the strategic, business, and high level information about the project. Right? It is strategic. Most of the time, it talks about the business information. Right? You won't see technical information or some, or very design specific information in that. Most of the time, strategic artifacts talks about the business information. What is the business purpose? What is the project purpose? What is the vision? What is the value proposition? What are the revenue streams? These are the aspects in which though the strategy artifacts will talk about it, and it provides only high level information. It never talks about the detailed information, and it may not normally change. It's kind of a one-time activity, but you might want to review it throughout the project because it might change, right? So these are the characteristics of a strategy artifacts. So we'll go one by one. What are the different strategy artifacts? PMBOK talks about it. So the first one is the business case. Business case talks about the value proposition of the project. What is the business value of this particular project? It includes financial and non-financial information, benefits actually. It would talk financial and non-financial benefits. The second type of strategy artifacts is the business model canvas. It's a one-page visual summary that describes the value proposition, infrastructure, customers, and finances. And it is used in lean startup situations. I think in one of my videos I talked about design thinking and lean startups are being used in building proof of concepts and prototypes before they get into agile development, right? So let's look at examples of the business case. This is one of the examples of business case template. It talks about the project name, its approval date, who is the project lead, who is the executive sponsor, what is the implementation date. It talks about say financial summary, right? And it talks about workforce and strategic impact and proposal benefits, right? So this is one good example of business case template. This is an example of canvas template, business model canvas. See, look at that. It talks about key partners, key activities, key resources, value propositions, customer relationship, channels, customer segments, cost structure, and revenue streams. Right? In a single page, it gives you a wonderful picture about the business model, right? Which is helpful for our lean startup situations. Right? Good. The third strategy artifact is the project brief. The project brief talks about high-level overview of goals, deliverables, and the process of the project. So essentially, it talks about the high-level overview of the goals. What are the project goals? And what are the expected deliverables out of this project? Another important strategy artifact is the project charter. And normally in all PMBOK, before PMBOK 7, right? Project charter is one of the key deliverables or inputs or output. It's an output, very important output in a project initiation process. And it will be input for all other processes like scheduling, it's human resource, communication management, cost management. So project charter will be the input for, all other processes or knowledge areas. So what is the elements of the project charter? It is issued by the sponsor. It is a formal authorization of the project. So this is where the project is getting kicked off, and it provides authority to project manager to apply the organizational resources. So this is the point at which the project manager gets the authority, gets assigned to the project, and started using the organizational resources. It's a formal authorization of the kickoff of this project, so that you start spending money or start utilizing the resources. Right. So this is the example of the project brief template. Right. It talks about objectives, stakeholders, timelines, the cost. Right. It talks about risks, resourcing. Right? So these are the a very brief about the project. Right. This is one of the examples of the project charter. Right. It talks about the project name, description, who is the project manager, who is the sponsor, what is the business case, any predefined, pre-assigned team members, what are the high-level milestones, the expected goals and deliverables, right? So who has approved this, signature of the sponsor, and when it got approved. Look at that, very beautiful, nice, a simple project charter, very nicely done actually, right? Then last two strategy artifacts that get discussed in PMBOK 7 is the project vision statement and roadmap. So project vision statement is the concise, and it talks about purpose of the project. Right? So we're going to be a very brief statement or a very concise document which might give you a high level information about the project and the purpose of the project. So on the vision statement, team members will understand what is the goal of the project and what is the project is looking to achieve. What is the target state of this project or the product, right? So very important, to have the vision statement. It's part of your strategy artifacts. And the last one is the roadmap actually. So roadmap is it's a document, or it's an artifact which gives you high level timelines, and it gives you the milestone and significant events. Very essential is to talk about the milestones and the decision points, right? The roadmap will talk about essentially that actually. It tells you what are the different events you go through that, and when do you want to complete that at high level, right? Let's look at some examples of the vision board. This is the vision board actually, right? It talks about the target group, needs, what is about the product, and what are the business goals of the product, right? And this is an example of the project roadmap of an innovation program, right? It talks about prototype stream, transfer support, new production unit, right? So it gives you that what happens from 2020 January to 2021 January, right? So this is a nice example of the project roadmap, right? So these are the artifacts, as being described as strategy artifacts in the PMBOK 7. So with that, we have come to a conclusion of this particular video. So tomorrow we continue with other artifacts like logs, registers, and other artifacts, right? So thanks for your patient listening, right? So I've been so wonderful to me. Uh, I would like to listen of your feedbacks and suggestions so that I would like to improve on my videos, right? I would like to identify top three ideas or areas I want to improve, right? So thanks a lot. We look for next videos on artifacts. Bye bye.